Welcome to the Well Woman Show, where we interview women executives, leaders, and entrepreneurs.
And you're listening to the Well Woman Show,
where motivated women achieve fulfillment and well-being.
You're listening to the Well Woman Show.
Take time for myself by coming to things like Well Woman Drinks.
To be accepting of myself no matter what. Step away from judgment as much as possible.
You're listening to the Well Woman Show.
You're going to be in for a good ride. I don't regret anything. Everything I've ever done, I've learned from it, one way or another, good or bad.
Being a little bit selfish for yourself, put your own oxygen mask on first and then give what's left.
I'm a woman. I would prefer to tell my own story. My story, though it's very personal, is universal.
You're listening to the Well Woman Show. And now your host, Giovanna Rossi.
Hi, Giovanna Rossi here, and welcome to another episode of the Well Woman Show, where I interview women leaders, executives, and entrepreneurs about their lives and their road to becoming and being who they are today. Do you ever find yourself overwhelmed with your responsibilities, and it seems like you'll never get it all done? Well, you're not alone. We all need to remember to use our superpowers, the ones we already have but don't use all the time, and take advice and wisdom from one another. Towards the end of the show, in a segment called Superpowers for Success, I ask my guest about her superpowers, and the answers will give you the strength, perspective, and power to keep on being the well woman you are. I'm so happy you're here, so thanks for tuning in. Today's topic is how to gain control over your life through brain education. And hopefully by the end of the show, you'll be inspired to try new practices to better connect with your body, take steps to live fully in the present, and reconsider your definition of success. My guest today is Bette Castoria, a yoga instructor at Brain and Body, a holistic yoga and fitness center, and a body and brain educator. Prior to discovering the benefits of yoga, Bette worked in finance for 22 years. Today I talk with Bette about how yoga and brain education has changed her life, how she was able to recognize that she wasn't happy in her former way of living, and how she's able to stay calm in moments of frustration or anger. The free giveaway today is Bette's 21-day belly button healing challenge. I love this giveaway because it explains how belly button healing works. I know, for some of you who haven't heard about this, you're thinking, what is this? It is really cool. I've tried it and you've got to give this a try. It describes how you can start the healing of your own body through belly button healing. And it's a really easy thing to do. Download this worksheet or this PDF giveaway and you'll find out how to do it. Now my interview with Bette Castoria. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
It's so great to talk to you. Bette, can you begin by telling our listeners, what are you working on and how does it impact women's lives and well-being?
Well, for the last 11 years, I have really been focused on my spiritual side. I'm a body and brain instructor, and I practice meditation, yoga. I think it is good for women to practice these things because we can get very out of touch of who we are and what our real purpose is in life. And I think meditation and coming inside of the body helps you really find your value and what you want to portray to the world.
And how do you teach that? I mean, how do women learn how to do that?
Well, what I do is I teach a class basically in body movement, what I want people to feel their body. I think that our bodies are a connection to our spirit and our soul, for lack of a better word. And through the body, we find our breath, we find a connection to the earth, we find a connection to other human beings. And to me, that woke up so much in me when I got introduced to meditation and body work that I just feel this passion now to share it with not only women, but with men, with children, and it helps me to keep my practice going by teaching.
And why body and brain? I mean, why that connection specifically?
Well,
and I know you're a brain educator too, so can you talk a little bit about that?
Brain education is one of my big passions. It's a part of the body and brain yoga, but brain education is specifically more for teaching young adults, young children, their power and the power of their brain and the connection that their brain and body has. I love to see a young person find their power and find that they have the ability to do what they want and not just be a clone of what their parents want or what society wants, but to really get a passion for what they want to become.
And you do this through brain education.
That's right.
Okay, so walk us through, what does that mean exactly? Like, how does someone learn about their power through what you teach them?
Well, brain education, for example, I can work with some young kids. Usually even a whole family comes for one of my classes. The last class I had, we had a young girl, her older brother, and her mom, and they just took the class as a family. And so we always start a class with physical education, so everybody gets their body moving, and it just makes you happy once you're moving your body. And then we will do some brain education exercises, which can be some kind of a coordination exercise, some kind of game where everybody has to work as a team, some kind of meditation or just energy movement. And they just blossom in that. The whole family does, because everybody is doing it. The children see their moms becoming very calm and peaceful also, and we share how we felt, and so they're not afraid of their emotions. They get more in touch with their emotions. We'll talk about what they want to achieve in their personal life right now and make some goals, perhaps, of what they want to do for the next week, and, set it out so that they have to do some things for the week to achieve their goals.
So it's a way for kids and people to almost like gain control over their lives. We want to have control over our lives, but sometimes we want to do it by holding and clinging and trying to control every aspect of everybody else. But really, when we just take ownership of our life and decide what we want and take some actions that will get us closer to that, we see that our power is really inside of us, not in controlling other people or not by other people just giving us what we want. We have to take responsibility for it and do steps to create it. And I love for kids to see that and that they have that power. Once they start having success in something small, and we teach them not to give up, that mistakes are okay, and that it's all a process, they really just have this power to want to keep going and want to get what they really want. And how old are the kids that you teach?
Well, I've taught many kids, young kids, like from age 6. I've also taught a lot in middle schools, and I, of course, love to teach adults also. Brain education is kind of for anybody that has a brain, and that kind of makes it open to the whole humanity.
Okay, and you also are an instructor at Body and Brain Yoga, and this is a different kind of methodology as well, but it includes some yoga and meditation.
That's right. Body and Brain Yoga, I joined it just as a member 11 years ago, and I went to it just thinking I wanted to stretch my body and get better health, shape, and stuff. It opened up something very deep inside of me, and I realized that I wanted so much more out of my life than the way it currently was. And so I did become an instructor, and I've been an instructor now for 8 years. I want everybody to awaken this power that they have inside of them and this connection to things that are more than what our physical bodies have been conditioned to want and think will make them happy. I lived very materialistically and very much selfishly, I say, or wanting to be in control, wanting to have more and more money, wanting to live a very materialistic life. And I kind of re-evaluated my life through this yoga to wanting to be more spiritual, more living with passion for something that would make a difference in this world.
Are you happier?
I am 100% happier, yes. And I thought I was happy before I started this yoga because I was making enough money. I had a lot of clout. I had a good job. I had power. I had a lot of things. And when I started this yoga, I started realizing that actually that wasn't making me truly happy. Knowing who I truly was made me happier. And giving up some of the material things that I was grasping for and trying to hold on to actually freed me so much to live a bigger, expanded life. And I've done so much in these last 11 years that I never would have done in my smaller life.
Like what?
Well, I've traveled the world with this yoga. And even without this yoga, I've just expanded much more. I have so much more freedom. If someone suggests something to me, I don't immediately go to, no, I can't do that. I think of reasons not to do it. If it hits me that would be amazing, I say yes first, and then I try to figure out how to do it. And there's always a way. There's always a way to get what you want. I've been to New Zealand. I've been to Korea. I've been to Europe. And I've met so many people. And before, the circle of my life was, a 3-mile radius, really, and my family, my friends. And I feel like I've expanded so much.
So what was the turning point for you? What happened 11 years ago to make you want to choose this other way of living?
To tell you the truth, it was coming to this body and brain center for the first time. Like I said, I wanted to just maybe do some stretching. Anyway, I met with one of the instructors and I had an energy session with her. And I felt, this is going to sound so strange, I really felt like I was touched by the hands of God. When I left that session, my whole body felt so alive and awake. That whole night, I felt this coursing energy through my body. And I was so excited to take class. And every time I came then just to take a class, I opened something different, something new. And I felt the world not through my small eyes. I felt it through a sense of energy. And there are many workshops and things in this yoga. And it made me open up to just a different way of living. Is all I can say. A lot of people thought I was very strange getting so into this so fast. I remember going home. I lived with my mother at the time, and telling her, we were doing this in class and I felt this open up inside of my body. And I feel so, and I would talk a mile a minute and she would just kind of look at me like, okay. But they saw that I was becoming happier and just a nicer person. Not nice, but just a more enthusiastic liver of life. And so people ultimately were happy for me that I found this.
And can you describe some of those big changes? Like you talked about the energy in your body, but what what was one of the big sort of aha moments?
It is hard to explain with words. I feel that people need to experience it to really get it. But what I can say is one of my aha moments, and this sounds silly, I went to a baseball game with my boyfriend. It was just the Dukes were playing. I don't think they were the Astros at that point. Anyway, we were watching the game, and I was so happy to be there and just watching all the people. And usually I get really bored at these things and want to leave, after an inning or something. But I was just so content to be there and have a hot dog or some peanuts. I can't remember what I was eating. But the energy of the whole field and the people there and the joy that was there, I just felt delighted to be there. And so I thoroughly enjoyed the whole evening, whereas before it would be like, can we go now? I just felt like I was living life and loving it on a deeper level, on a different level, not worried about the time, not worried about I should be doing something else, just being in the present. That, I think, was a big thing.
So you went through a sort of an awakening.
Yes, I would say so.
You woke up to yourself.
Exactly.
And to your life. And have you seen other people do that in classes that you've been in?
Definitely, I have. I have seen, that's what I like about this yoga is the instructors really guide you. And sometimes it feels like almost too much because they want you to live a certain way, and they want you, if they find you being negative, it's like, get rid of that, get that out of your brain, be more positive. And it's amazing how that works, and you see it in other people too, and that inspires me even more when I see someone who used to come to class and they were kind of negative and kind of just angry perhaps. And I see them say, I felt the energy. I felt so much love. And you just see a transformation in other people, and they're growing. And it's like it makes you want to continue even further also, because it's like, yes, we can all change. We can make this shift in our life. And when you see it in somebody else, it really empowers you to want to do it even more for yourself and to share it with other people that you feel like they have it. They just are not seeing it.
Mm. So I know you also do some belly button healing work in your work. What is that? I mean, honestly, I have told people about belly button healing, and people sort of say, "What?
I know.
What on earth is this now?" This is getting really way out there.
It's a very hard thing to explain to people also. But the belly button, and it's a new thing we're doing in this yoga, the belly button, was the area of our body that we were connected to our mothers. We got all of our nutrients. Our bodies grew from that connection that we had to our mothers in the womb through the umbilical cord to the belly and to the body. It first forms our liver, and our whole body is made from that connection. And so we're born, it's cut, it becomes a scar. But actually, all of those connections are still there. Stimulating the belly button, it's not that the belly button is sick. The healing goes to the whole body, but you stimulate the belly button with this amazing tool that has been created. It's very ergonomic and it's easy to use. And you pump your belly button with this tool and it stimulates. And there's a lot of scientific research behind it and a lot of oriental acupressure, acupuncture methodology behind it. But the belly button is just a place that the body can receive energy very strongly. And it courses through the body and it goes to the internal organs. It's a way to meditate and put your mind deep into your body while you're doing it. And amazingly, you get healing benefits from it.
And so the idea is that you can begin to heal yourself.
That's right.
Because through belly button stimulation, you can actually access all of the different organs and different parts of your body by doing this acupressure, really, in your belly button.
And so it's a self-healing. You don't have to depend on always going to an acupuncturist if that's, a way that you've done healing in the past, or even a regular doctor. People's blood pressure has dropped because they do this. People's pain levels have gone away. I've experienced a lot of relief in my lower back pain, which, just the yoga itself always helped it, but this just made it go away completely. I love it. My digestion is so much smoother and easier. And I think it's doing things that on a subconscious level, that my brain isn't even aware of, because I just in general feel a lot better since I've been doing it. And I do it about 3 times a day, every day. And of course I teach it. And so I probably do it 5 times a day.
Right.
Yeah, it seems strange, but the results are there. And many people are finding good results from doing belly button healing.
Okay. Well, Bette, we're moving into a segment called Superpowers for Success. So I want to ask you a few questions about you and your life. What does success in life mean for you?
Success in life has changed so dramatically for me. I would say that I used to think it meant having a good job, making decent money, having a husband, a family, a beautiful home. All of those ideas have really left my mind. Success for me today, if I felt that I was doing what I was passionate about every day and woke up excited to do work, to do what I wanted to do and not be hindered by, but my house isn't perfect. My husband, I don't even have a husband, but he's not perfect. My family doesn't look good from the outside. I care nothing about that anymore. I don't need physical things. I just want to wake up every day and do what it is that I'm passionate about. And this is what I'm passionate about, teaching brain education and teaching classes.
Okay. And when did you know that you were really good at what you do?
When I was asked to teach just the warm-up exercises at this yoga, I was like, are you kidding? I don't have any training. I can't possibly get up in front and tell people how to do this. But, the instructor acted like she was sick and really couldn't do it. And so I did it. And I kind of had so much fun with it. And people afterwards said, gosh, you did a really good job of that. And I realized, if I had my heart in it, people actually respond. And I felt so good about that. I didn't know that I was really good at it, but I was good at sharing my heart. And it actually touched people in a way that made them want to do this. And so
it wasn't only the external validation of the people telling you had done a good job. You actually felt yourself like,
exactly.
I'm kind of awesome at this.
I get joy inside of me when I share and when I feel like I'm connected to something bigger than my small energy. Mm-hmm. And I don't worry about do I have the credentials for this? Do I have the knowledge for this? If I connect energetically, I feel like I have everything and that I can be just amazing at sharing it. So.
Yeah. I mean, what you're describing and what I've been thinking about as we've been talking is that you're really living in this sort of space of love and abundance and not in fear and scarcity. right? I feel like so many people, we live in fear, which is the, no, I don't want to do that. No, I can't do that. It's the no that you referred to earlier.
Exactly. And I can't say that I'm always in this space, but that's what I strive for, because I have fears, I have frustrations and angers, but I know that they're energy, and I choose to try and make myself go to the higher energies.
And you can do that with your brain.
Exactly.
Well, what about when you're in a moment? I mean, so let's say, you're generally speaking living in love and abundance, and it's wonderful, joy, but you can't be doing that 100% of the time. There are things that happen in the day that are frustrating, or an interaction with somebody. What do you do in that moment where you absolutely, all of your abundance and love is out the window and you just feel like you want to throttle someone? What do you do?
The first thing that I try to do is not act out of that. Breathing, that's one of the things that is a huge tool for me. Taking just a second before I react to breathe in and to completely breathe out. And try to just get away from the anger. I have anger issues. I would say that is a button that can be pushed in me. And so I try not, because I always regret it if I yell at somebody or say something really mean or just lash out, especially family or someone that I know that I love, and they're usually the ones that can push me just right. And so breathing is really important to me. Stopping, just taking a minute, perhaps, telling them, I can't deal with this right now. Let's talk later. I try to postpone it and just try to get back into myself and ask my brain, what do I want to do? What do I want to do right now? Do I want to follow this, or do I want to let it go and let it pass through me?
But to be able to tap into that, you have to have a practice or a habit to be able to remember to do that.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So that's so important.
That's where my brain is much more used to watching myself now and to seeing what I have going on inside of me. And I recognize it, and it's like, that's not what I want to choose right now. I know that's not. And so try to get back to the breath, get back to my core and what I really believe.
And is that sort of separating brain from emotion?
Yeah. The energy, the brain, I want my brain to be the operator of my body and not my emotions. So the brain, I feel, can see my emotions and choose how I want to react.
But it's important to feel through your emotions as well.
It is.
In order to release them.
It is important to acknowledge when I get angry or when I get frustrated, my hope is to watch it and acknowledge that I have it, but where did it come from and why do I have it? And try to find the source of it. It could be just an old memory that, is something that is inside of me that makes me feel that way, that isn't really true, or it could be a preconception. It could be something that happened to me when I was a child that made me always feel like if somebody criticized, a piece of art that I made, I take that really seriously. It's like, I created that and I don't want to be criticized for it. And I get really hurt and angry and want to lash out. And really, it's something that, I created. And I can let go of it if I really watch and see.
Mm-hmm.
That's
okay. And what superpower did you discover you had only to realize it was there all the time?
Well, that's exactly it. I mean, finding that I had this power inside of me, realizing it, made me realize, I always had that. I knew it when I was a child. I remember things sometimes of just feeling invincible and powerful and confident. And things just piled up over it. And then you let some of those things go, and suddenly you're there again, and you recognize it. It's like, I remember this. I remember when I had this, and now I have it again.
What would you call that superpower?
Well, I call it life particles. That's what we call it in our yoga. It's the connection of energy that is throughout the whole universe, but it's mine also. And
okay, and last question, because we're just about out of time, but I wanted to ask you, what advice would you give your 25 or 30-year-old self?
So much. First of all, I wish that I had realized this at this younger age. I would tell myself that the material things in life are not that important. I would tell myself that I am a good person and that what I do matters, and not to be worried so much about being what I called successful in those times. I would really give myself advice on be a more attentive mother. Don't just think being a mother is providing for your child, materially. You have to be there emotionally, physically. Give your child the love. I feel like I missed some things with raising my family, worrying about success. So I would give myself a lot of advice.
Wow. That's great. Okay. And what are you reading right now? What's on your nightstand?
Tao Living is the book that I've been reading for a while now. It's by Ilchi Lee, and it's just it's the lifestyle of living this bigger life, this life of passion. And it just gives me a lot of guidelines. And so I just pick it up. I've read it all the way through, and I just pick it up at night and read a chapter or read a few pages randomly just to get a message. I read other stuff too, but that's the one that's right there by my bed.
Yeah. Great. It's been so nice talking to you.
Thank you, Giovanna. I have really appreciated this.
That's it for our show today. I've been speaking with Bette Castoria, a yoga instructor at Brain and Body, a holistic yoga and fitness center, and a body and brain educator. I spoke with Bette about rediscovering her internal power through yoga and brain education, learning to work through anger, and the benefits of belly button healing. You can get Bette's free 21-day belly button healing challenge at wellwomanlife.com/044show. Our monthly live event, Well Woman Drinks, brings women together to share our successes and challenges as women leaders, moms, aunts, sisters, and all the other roles we carry. You can find out more at wellwomanlife.com/events. And don't forget about the holiday party, the Selfish Holiday Party, where we will be focusing on self-care. It's December 14th, and you can go to wellwomanlife.com/events to register there. If you're not a member yet and you would like to be, you can also visit wellwomanlife.com/membership, and you can attend a lot of these events for free, like the holiday party. So check it out. And if you enjoy this show, please take a moment and subscribe in iTunes and leave a review. That really helps raise visibility for the show so that other women around the world can find it. You can also continue the conversation in the Well Woman Life community group at facebook.com/groups/Well Woman Life community. For feedback, comments, or just to let me know you were listening today, find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Well Woman Life. I'm Giovanna Rossi for The Well Woman Show. Until next time, have a super powerful week.